The shading techniques. As I've already said, the shading techniques represent a different approach and different movements. In this example, you can see what different shading techniques look like. The hatching, the blending, and the stippling techniques. Each of these techniques conveys a certain style of coloring and fulfill different tasks. The hatching technique is meant for making separate lines with a rapid movement. Entry to the skin is more sharp and exit of the skin is more smooth. With this technique, we can work close to the edge or create the edge. The blending shading movements are light and pendulum-like. They are performed quickly and as superficially as possible in order to avoid injuring the skin. Using this technique, we are able to work on large areas, and what is most important, we can fill these areas evenly with a transparent layer. The third technique is stippling, the technique of making pixels. It is used to work with tiny details such as thin tails or the transparent smooth edge of an eyebrow head. Any aquarelle technique or powder eyebrow technique needs a smooth, beautiful edge that has no contour. Only with the help of stippling technique can we achieve this effect. To sum up everything, hatching is the technique of creating a smooth edge. The shading or blending technique for narrowing and expansion. And the stippling technique, working with pixels. Remember that regarding the techniques of line and shading, there are separate different ways of moving to achieve a different effect. If we talk about linear techniques, then the line can also be done using three different movements: monotone, pendulum-like, the so-called tic-tac, and the light movement upwards, and we call it an airy movement. For shading, we can also use various types of techniques: hatching, blending, and stippling.